3 people died last year from contaminated ice cream served in NHS hospitals. And if you've been grabbing a Magnum from the freezer, treating your grandchildren to a Cornetto, or reaching for those healthy, low-calorie tubs to protect your waistline, you could be silently damaging your heart, your blood vessels, and your immune system. While you've been trusting these billion-pound brands, they've been hiding recalls, contamination incidents, and sweeteners now linked to heart attacks. In today's video, we're exposing 7 of the worst ice cream brands sold in British supermarkets. Products that promise indulgence on the label but failed in safety testing. And at the end, we'll reveal the cleanest brands you can actually trust. Plus, I'll show you how to spot fake ice cream in seconds. This is the frozen truth they don't want you to hear. Let's start with the worst offender. Brand number 1, Halo Top. You know Halo Top. You've probably bought it. The pint that promises you can eat the whole thing guilt-free. 300 calories, high protein. Finally, ice cream you don't have to feel bad about. That's what they want you to believe. But here's what they're not telling you. A Cleveland Clinic study published in Nature Medicine analyzed over 4,000 patients and found something terrifying. Those with the highest blood levels of erythritol, the primary sweetener in Halo Top, had double the risk of heart attack, stroke, and death compared to those with the lowest levels. Double. And it gets worse. When healthy volunteers drank an erythritol-sweetened beverage, their blood levels rose 1,000-fold and stayed elevated for over 2 days. Throughout that entire period, their blood became significantly more likely to clot. The very people buying Halo Top to protect their health, diabetics, dieters, those with heart conditions, are the ones most at risk. At around £5.50 per tub from Tesco, you're paying premium prices for a product that could be working against your heart with every spoonful. Brand number 2, Oppo Brothers. But it gets worse, because Oppo Brothers uses the same erythritol, plus they've added maltitol, the sugar alcohol most likely to cause digestive chaos. You've seen them in Sainsbury's and Tesco, the sleek tubs promising indulgence without the guilt. But scroll through Trustpilot reviews and you'll find a very different story. Customers reporting stomachs the size of balloons, vomiting, days of digestive aftermath. One reviewer described spending an entire evening in agony after half a tub. And here's the betrayal. Recent recipe changes added glucose syrup and maltodextrin to the formula. So you're now getting the cardiovascular risks of erythritol, the digestive destruction of maltitol, and added sugars they didn't have before. At £5 to £6.50 per tub, you're paying more than Häagen-Dazs prices for a product that could leave you clutching your chest or clutching your stomach. Neither outcome is what you signed up for. Brand number 3, Wheyhey. Still think protein ice cream is the healthy choice? Wheyhey uses xylitol as its primary sweetener, and a Cleveland Clinic study in the European Heart Journal found those with the highest xylitol levels had 57% higher risk of cardiovascular events. The mechanism is the same. Your platelets become, in the researchers' words, much more angry and ready to clot. The elevated risk persists for 4 to 6 hours after consumption. Every time you reach for that protein fix, you could be priming your blood for a clot. And there's another danger they don't mention on the packaging. Xylitol is extremely toxic to dogs. If you have pets in your home and a tub of Wheyhey in your freezer, you've got a potential emergency waiting to happen. At around £3.50 for a 3-pack from Iceland, it might seem like good value. But what's the real cost to your cardiovascular system? Brand number 4, Magnum. Now let's talk about the brand you probably grew up with. Magnum, that satisfying crack of chocolate, the creamy vanilla center. Britain's favourite ice cream indulgence. But the Food Standards Agency tells a different story. In 2024 alone, Magnum faced multiple recalls. The almond ice cream sticks were pulled due to possible plastic and metal fragments. The classic was recalled for potential metal pieces. That's not a one-off mistake, that's a pattern of contamination failures. But the problems run deeper than foreign objects. Check the ingredients and you'll find carrageenan, classified by the International Agency for Research on Cancer as a possible human carcinogen in its degraded form. You'll find E471 emulsifiers, often derived from palm oil. And you'll find multiple sugar sources pushing each bar to 21 to 27 grams of sugar. At around £4 for a 4-pack, you're not just paying for chocolate and vanilla, you're paying for contamination risks, questionable additives, and more sugar than you probably realized. That crack you hear might be your health giving way. Brand number 5, Wheyhey Soft Scoop. Here's where the deception gets truly brazen. Wheyhey's Soft Scoop looks like ice cream. It's sold as ice cream. But a witch investigation found it contains no fresh milk, no fresh cream, and no real vanilla. What does it contain? Water as a primary ingredient, reconstituted dried skimmed milk, vegetable fats including palm oil, and general flavoring instead of actual vanilla. You're essentially buying frozen vegetable fat with milk powder. In 2025, Wheyhey's Mini Milk required an FSA alert for allergens not declared in English, including milk and potential nut contamination. Basic labeling failures from one of the world's largest food companies. How is this legal? Since 2015, UK regulations no longer require minimum fat or protein content for a product labelled ice cream. Unlike America, where ice cream must contain at least 10% milk fat, Britain has no compositional standards at all. They can legally call frozen vegetable fat ice cream, and they do. Brand number 6, Carte D'or. You might think you're trading up with Carte D'or, the elegant tubs, the premium positioning. Surely this is real ice cream. That same witch investigation found Carte D'or contains vanilla, yes, but no fresh cream and no fresh milk. You're paying premium prices for reconstituted dairy and flavouring. And because Carte D'or is made by Unilever, the same company behind Magnum and Wheyhey, it carries the same supply chain concerns, the same palm oil questions, the same pattern of recalls affecting their ice cream division. At around £3 to £4 per tub, you're paying for the illusion of quality, the fancy name, the sophisticated marketing. But underneath that elegant packaging is the same industrial processing, the same cost-cutting, and the same missing fresh ingredients. Brand number 7, Mars and Snickers ice cream. Finally, let's talk about the chocolate bar ice creams you grab as a quick treat. Mars and Snickers ice cream bars seem like innocent indulgences, but check the ingredients. Palm fat features prominently. Carrageenan appears again. Multiple stabilizers and emulsifiers fill out the list. And you're looking at 24 grams of sugar per 100 milliliters. The parent company Mars has a troubled history with contamination. A massive recall across 55 countries after plastic was found in products. A separate recall of Galaxy, Minstrels and Maltesers after salmonella detection at their UK plant. At around £2 to £3 per 4-pack, the price seems reasonable. But you're buying products from a company with documented contamination failures, loaded with palm fat and sugar, stabilized with the same questionable additives appearing throughout this list. Safe alternatives. But you don't have to gamble with your health. There are brands doing things properly. For your premium option, look for Jude's ice cream. This Hampshire family company sources fresh milk and cream from Matterley Farm, just 4 miles from their dairy. Their ingredients are over 90% British, with full traceability. They can tell you exactly where their apples come from, their sea salt, their vanilla. They're B Corp certified, with over 100 Great Taste Awards. You'll find them at Waitrose, Sainsbury's and Tesco for around £5 per 500 millilitres. Yes, it costs more, but you're paying for real ingredients from named sources, not industrial processing from anonymous supply chains. For your budget option, look for Aldi Specially Selected Super Premium. Here's why it's remarkable. The ingredients list contains just 5 items: cream, skimmed milk, sugar, pasteurized egg yolks, and vanilla extract. That's it. No gums, no emulsifiers, no stabilizers. Just ingredients you'd use at home. At around £6 for over a litre, it's actually cheaper per serving than many of the problem brands, and dramatically cleaner. Both options prove the same point. Quality ice cream doesn't require a chemistry set. It requires honest ingredients and companies willing to use them. The system is broken. Post-Brexit regulations have left British shoppers exposed to additives banned across Europe, while standards for what can legally be called ice cream have essentially disappeared. The industry is betting you won't read the label, but now you know. You know which brands to avoid, you know what to look for, and you know the healthy alternatives might be the most dangerous of all. Which brand shocked you the most? Drop your experience in the comments. And if you want to watch another video like this one, click the video on the screen. Thanks for watching.